Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show this evening. Tonight we're going to talk about incarceration and the support of a person coming home from incarceration. What's needed for a person to have a successful transition back to their community. We want to talk about the life of coming home and what's needed. A person goes into a system and he does a period of time in prison. And after a period of time, he becomes comfortable with that time that he's doing. He becomes to the point to where he becomes institutionalized. It depends on things that the system gives him, washing the clothes, going to the child, eating food that's already prepared for him, somebody else cooks. Medical treatment, going to the doctor when he gets sick, he goes down to the medical and put in a form and sees the doctor. Certain things a person gets used to after being incarcerated for a period of time. And we want to talk about that and the transformation that a person has to go through coming home from prison. And we've had a lot of people on our show that's gone through changes of coming home and the transformation of being part of the society that which they live in. It becomes kind of difficult at times. So we want to talk about that this evening. And we want to be able to put a solution to what's going on in our community right now. Right now we have people coming home and they're going through the transitional housing of being readjusted to the community. And a lot of people, let me rephrase that, some of the people that's coming home from prison, they're not being successful at going through that transformation. You know, they have difficult times leaving the confinement of prison. And we want to elaborate on that a little bit because we're having a problem. You know, we've had people coming home with illnesses. After a period of time, they're diagnosed with different illnesses that they could have been taken care of before they come home. But it wasn't because it was given a Band-Aid in prison and they was paroled back to the communities and they're with a sickness now that's kind of like out of control, you know. We have a gentleman that's been on the show a couple of times last week, and he was diagnosed with an illness in prison, and it was not diagnosed as they should have been because it was told to him that nothing was wrong with him. But it came to the point to where he came home from prison. He'd been home a little less than 2 years, and he's been diagnosed with 5 discs in his back being rearranged. He's been diagnosed with muscle spasms on his right side. He's been diagnosed just lately with bone marrow cancer in his back. So we want to talk about certain things that need to be addressed, and we need to start putting ourselves in an order where we can help ourselves before things get worse than what it is. Now, coming home from prison, it can be difficult, very, very difficult. Because if you don't have support system, more than likely you're going to fail. If you don't have the support of knowing what to do when you get back to society, because when you leave prison, you leave a society within the society itself, prison, and things are being done for you. So you don't really have to do too much. The most important thing that you have to do is show up. And that's all you have to do. Everything else is being done for you. So what we have to do now, we have to look at what do we do after coming home from prison. The first thing that we should do, the very first thing we should do is get a medical checkup. See a physician, see a doctor. You'll find some kind of way to get a multi-physical at a doctor. Go to the doctor and get a complete checkup. From the neck to the feet, get a checkup. Because if you've been in prison for a long period of time, and eating the food in prison that you've been eating for a long period of time, there is something mentally or physically wrong with you. You either have high blood pressure, you have cholesterol problems, you have something wrong, you're diabetic, you have something wrong with you coming home from prison, okay? Because the food they feed you is just food to maintain you, keep you going. It's not food to keep you healthy, or it's just food to make you continue to go on during your time. So when you come home from prison, the most important thing that you should do is find you a doctor where you can get a physical. That's what you should do. The second thing you should do, is to make sure that you and your parole agent have a good rapport. Your parole officer is the person that you have to see monthly. He is the person that you have to check into to make sure that what you're doing is right. Make sure that you and your parole officer have a good rapport, okay? Attend groups, attend support groups. We have a group here in San Francisco through the Talif Collective. Every month we have a group here in San Francisco on Fillmore Street. It's called Support Circle. All right. I am one of the facilitators for Support Circle. This month we'll have it on the 24th, which is Wednesday, on Fillmore Street, right? And we have a support circle where you can come out and be amongst people that you know, people that you're comfortable with. Some kind of way you've come in contact with somebody in the support circle. The majority of people that's in this group support circle are lifers, that's done a life sentence in prison. So we have to surround ourselves with people that we're comfortable with, some people that we can talk to, people that understand where we're coming from, okay? We have to come out and we have to take part in things to have our transition back to society smooth. And it's not difficult, If you don't know something, ask somebody that knows. Okay, we've been out here for a period of time. We've kind of adjusted ourselves to the ins and out of what's going on in our community. We know what support groups to go to. They got NAAA, they got support circles here, they got Senior Sex Offenders Program. They have different programs that a person can go to and check in on a regular and find out what they need to do to continue their transition back into society. Because it's not hard. It's not hard to be part of this society. Because being back in your community, being back in this world out here, so to speak, is not something that's going to be given to you on a platter. This is something that you have to work for. So you have to come back out in this world and put work in. You got to surround yourself with positive people that's doing positive things. This station, this television station here, I started a little over a year ago. And this support group, this support television station, is for returned citizens, people that's gone into the system and has come home. It's for us to know what's going on in our community. It's for people in the community to know what's going on with the life that's coming on. It's exchange. It's a television station that's needed in our community. So we have something that hasn't been given before. We have a forum that we can come on and we can talk to people and tell people who we are, what our concerns are, what our intentions are, who we once were, and what our future goals are today. So we want to talk and we want to explain to people that this coming out in this world out here, it's a job within a job itself. You got to put work in to be out here. We've had a few people that's going back in the months past, because they haven't been given the support that they needed to do the transformation back into the community. Certain things that people do in prison, they can't let go. They can't let go. They can't leave it in R&R. When they leave, they got to bring it with them. When you come home from prison, when you leave and come back into your community, the best thing that you could do is leave all that garbage behind, because you're coming to a new world. You're coming to a new community. Now, when you come home from prison, a lot of people mindset is that I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna get off, I'm gonna take off from the gate, I'm gonna start working, I'm gonna start doing this, I'm gonna start doing that. It don't happen like that. It does not happen like that. It takes time to get readjusted to this world out here. You can't just take off from the gate and want to do things all in 1 week. It doesn't happen like that. It takes time. So what you have to do is you have to take your time and get your bearings together on what you want to do back in this world. Because when you come back, see, this is something that you have to take on. This is something that you have to do. You know, nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. Nobody's going to cook your breakfast for you. Nobody's going to make your bed. Nobody's going to make your doctor's appointment. You have to make your doctor's appointment. You got to go down to the motor vehicle. You got to see your report to your parole officer. You have to do everything that's instructed for you to do. You have to do it yourself. You have to make your own decisions. You know, sure enough, you got to report to your parole agent once a month, or twice a month, however it may be. You have to report to your parole officer. That's something that you have to do. You have to let your parole officer know where you're going, when you're going, how long you're going to be there. You have to get approved to go certain places. You just can't get up and go. You have to make sure that your whereabouts are known at all times, okay? So leaving prison, you have things that you have to do out here. You've left one society and you've come back into another society because prison is a society within itself. You got all the rules as they have out here, but you got more intense rules out here. You know, going down to the motor vehicle, getting driver's license. Okay, that's a privilege that you've earned. Get behind a car and drive a car, that's a privilege that you've earned. But that's not something that's a given, that's something that you have to work for. Everything in society today that you have to work for. Okay? Now, like I say, leaving prison, coming back out here, you know, it's certain rules that you have to apply to. You have to uplift to, you know. So we have to come home and we got to want to be part of this. When you went in front of the Board of Prison Terms and you were found suitable for parole, we more or less begged the commissioners to come home, to allow us freedom, to allow us to be suitable for parole. We more or less begged them to allow us to come home. Now we're back in this society, and the beg that we put out in that boardroom, we got to make it happen. We got to make this part of our dream come true. We're back. We're going to be part of this community. We got to put work in. This is just not a given. This is not something that's just given to us. So you have to put work in once you come back to this community. You got to do something that you've been doing all the time that you was incarcerated. You got to follow the red road. You got to follow the yellow brick road, so to speak, and don't fall into the poppy plants. Because if you fall into the poppy plants, you're gonna get intoxicated again. You're gonna become part of that society within the society itself, incarceration again. So we don't want you to get caught up in madness. We don't want you to be part of a sick society again, incarceration. We want you to stay out here, be part of this society, because hey, believe me, this is beautiful out here. You know, you can go places where you can't normally go in prison. All you can do is dream and think about it. You can go down to the beach and walk in the water with your socks off, shoes off. You can look at the ocean. You can look as far as water can take you. You know, you can just look at it, just dream about certain things. You know, there's things in society. You can go down to a restaurant and order food. You can go inside Safeway and buy some candy, buy some food, and eat it. And leave Safeway and go back in and buy some more, eat it, go outside and enjoy life. You ain't got to wait for the end of the month to go to the canteen. So this here is a beautiful thing, being out in this world. It really is. We have to appreciate it. We have to enjoy it. This is something that we have to let society know that we are part of this, and we're going to do the transformation at any cost. We're going to do the transformation, you know, and the people that has failed and going back into the prison system, you know, that was something that they wasn't able to do. You know, they may have another chance, they may not. You know, going back into the system after being home it's kind of difficult to get back out. It's really difficult to get back out. They give you one shot, you know, and if you go back for any reason, you know, your life sentence starts all over again. You got to go back in front of the Board of Prison Terms. You got to convince them again that you're suitable to come home. It's not that easy. The second time, it's not that easy. So the first time that they allow you to come home, hey, you have to be part of this world in a real way. You know, a lot of people go in front of the Board of Prison Terms and they kind of fool the people behind that table. They kind of fool them and get a chance out here. And if you come out here, be serious about this. Be serious about coming out in this world, because you might only have one shot at it. You only might have one shot at it. So the shot that you have, enjoy it. We had a guy that came on last week, I'm gonna say Billy Foster. He came on last week, and Billy came home with a illness. You know, and Billy's a friend of mine. I've known Billy since he come home. And Billy, we became a friend. We have a friendship. And Billy came home weighing 240 pounds. He came home October 8th, 2015. He came home with a sickness that he didn't know what it was. He thought it was, you know, back pains. He was having back pains, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor said his back was messed up years ago in prison, and they didn't treat it the way that it should have been treated. You know, they gave him Motrins and allowed him to continue doing time without taking care of his condition. And Billy came home and he went to the doctor, and he was diagnosed with having 5 discs that was messed up in his back. He was just diagnosed last week of having cancer in his bone marrow. You know, they said, yeah, they can operate, they can take care of this, but there's a 50-50 chance that he may be paralyzed if they did that. You know, but then on the other side, if they did operate and take care of this, you know, he still has cancer in his bone marrow, in his spine. So, you know, Billy's a young man. He has a long life ahead of him, but it's not guaranteed that he's going to make it, you know. But we got to always keep in mind that prayers are answered. We have to pray for Billy Foster. We got to pray that his condition that he's in now be able to save him and be able to get him back on the track and allow him to have a long life. Billy served 31 years in prison, and he came home, and he needs to be able to be part of this world and allow him to do the things that he needs to do as far as being part of this world. So we need to help Billy in some kind of way, praying for him. You know, if we have some funds, send him some funds. You know, he needs money, he needs help. He needs money to get certain places where he needs to go. He needs things that he needs to continue his life. So if you can help Billy in any kind of way, help Billy. Help him continue the life that he has. We don't know how long he's going to be here. God willing, he'll be here for a long period of time. But if he's not, we want to make him comfortable in the time that he has here. So if you can, help Billy Foster. Pray for him. If you know him, help him. You know, if you have any funds that you can spare, send him $5 or $10. You know, send him a few dollars. You know, send it to Bayvac. You know, send it to me. You know, I'll make sure he gets it. You know, Billy needs help. We need to help the brothers that are not able to help themselves right now. That's what we do. You know, pay it forward. That's what they say. So we want to make sure that everything that we do today is done for a good cause. We want to help the people that's coming home from prison through the support group. You know, like I said, we have it once a month here in San Francisco, you know, at the SF Center on Fillmore between Oak and Fell. Let me see, I have the address here. Let me get the address and show the address that we have for the support circle and get that out, because that's something that's needed and people need to know how to get there and what time it is. It's from 7 in the evening until 9 at night. And the support circle is at, address is 548 Fillmore Street, between Oak and Fillmore. And that's Wednesday, May the 24th, from 7 to 9. The name of the center is SF Center on Fillmore Street, between Oak and Phil. So if you're not doing anything this Wednesday, come out and be part of our group. Come out and be a support to the formerly incarcerated that's gone into the system and done their time. Allow us to be a support to them and allow them to be part of this society again. They've gone to prison, they've done their time. You know, they've become law-abiding citizens, they made it back. You know, everybody's not coming back, but the ones that's come back into their community, allow them to be part of this society again. Allow them to come home and take part in the reconstruction of their community. Allow them to be part of this. So we want to be part of this. We want you to show that we can make a difference in somebody's life. You know, Billy Foster, right now, he needs help. You know, let's help Billy have a smooth transition through this, and if have to be out of this, allow Billy to have a smooth transition. You know, like I said, we became friends. You know, he was my little brother when he came home from prison, and I helped him as much as I could through the transition that he's gone through over the months. So I'm going to continue to do the things that I can to help Billy, and we need your help. So any funds that you have, $5 or $10, $15, you know, call Bayvac, you know, call me, get in contact with somebody and allow us to forward this money to Billy and help Billy through his transition. Whether it be a transition where they can get the cancer out of his body, or whether it be a transition out of here. We want to help Billy have a smooth transition, any way it goes. So with the formerly incarcerated that's going back into the system, we wish you the best. You know, you had a shot out here, you didn't use it the way that you're supposed to use it. And my feeling, if you didn't use it the way you're supposed to use it, that's where you're supposed to be back, you know, behind the walls, because they got a lot of people that's incarcerated that want one shot. They want one shot out here and to show society that they're supposed to be out here. The ones that take it for granted and go back, oh well. You know, when you come back, you know, hopefully you have it together. But, you know, that was on you. He was given a shot. So we want to thank you for allowing us to come into your living rooms and your bedrooms this evening and, you know, take a look at what we're saying this evening. You know, we are saying something that, you know, a lot of people want to say, but they don't have the opportunity to say, is to give us a shot out here. You know, the majority of us that's out here, we want to do good. We want to be part of this society. You know, we worked to get back out here. We allowed ourselves to go through the transformation in prison and continue it once we got out here. So we worked to get out here. It's not something that was given. You don't go in prison, they say you got 25 years of life or 15 years of life. After you get 15 years or 25 years of life, they send you home. It's not that easy. You know, you got to put in work to get out of here. And the lifers that's come home from formerly incarcerated societies, they put in work to be part of the society. So we want to thank you for watching the show. The show comes on every Saturday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 29. Every other Thursday at 6:30 to 7, we have live interviews on the show, and you'll be able to call in and talk to the guests that's on that talk for that evening. So watch our show Saturday nights at 7 o'clock, Channel 29. Every other Thursday, 6:30 to 7. Tune in to Channel 76. And after the day, matter of fact, you'll be on YouTube. We'll put the show on YouTube, so you'll be able to look at it on YouTube and give me your opinion or give me your advice on the show, what I can do to improve it, what I need to do to improve it. Constructive criticism I accept. So let us know, how we're doing, and this show is for you. It shows for us. It shows to bring us together as one. You know, we can't be on one side of the fence and the other a person on the other side of the fence. We need to come together and bring this show as one and allow us to be able to show the community that the lifers are back and they ain't going nowhere. The ones that do go somewhere, they ask to go back. Okay, so we want to thank you for allowing us to come into your living rooms and bedrooms this evening, and thank you. We got another blessed day above ground. We got one more day to get something right. Whatever it is, we may not know what it is, but today, believe me, you're gonna get something right, one day at a time. Thank you and have a good evening.